Plaintiff Daniel McGinnis says when he met the defendant, it was love at first sight. Despite the fact that Daniel came from a loving, stable home and the defendant's home life was dysfunctional, Daniel claims he soon realized that the defendant spent all of her money on drugs and alcohol, even though she had a child to support. And he's suing her today for a loan and emotional distress. Defendant Jessica Corbeil denies it was love at first sight with Daniel and claims he was nothing more than a rebound man. Jessica claims Daniel has been nothing but rude and inconsiderate by calling her derogatory names and sending her harassing text messages. And she's countersuing for car damages, harassment, and emotional distress.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Well, let me just take this opportunity, Judge, to thank you for allowing me to be here and appear in your courtroom. I'm a big fan. I barely passed high school, and you're an inspiration for me to turn my life around. Got into college. I'm a swing manager at McDonald's.
Really?
Followed in your footsteps.
You talking about me or you talking about yourself?
Myself.
That's exactly what I did.
No, I started off as a crew member.
Did they put you in the parking lot?
Well, yeah, picking up garbage, sweeping. And got
Took them
into
a minute to let you around the cash registers?
Yeah, pretty much. Never had a drawer off either.
Then you went to college?
Right.
Or at the same time?
Technical college, working on getting into law school. Started off technical, UWM, hopefully Marquette someday.
Okay.
Working with a close friend of my dad's at a law firm, shadowing him, working with him. Want to be a lawyer someday.
Good. All right. That's exactly the path I took. Dropped out, got in trouble. My first job after getting in trouble was at McDonald's, sweeping up the parking lot because they wouldn't let me in the store.
And your old buddies used to come by.
Yeah, my old buddies used to come by and tease me. Then they, a year or two later, came by for a job when I was assistant manager.
No kidding.
And went to college and law school. All right. So hopefully you'll keep going and follow my example up through this part of my career. You don't want these headaches. All right. Let's begin the case.
Okay, well, to give you a little bit of background, I met the defendant over here at the end of October, right before Halloween. A mutual friend introduced us. It was pretty much love at first sight. We hit it off pretty well. I come from a stable, two-parent household. She comes from an unstable, dysfunctional family that has no structure, which probably contributes to her
that is
irresponsibility.
Not true. My family
Excuse me, I'm
has
talking.
a lot of love for each other. We support each other, and no matter what we do, no matter what choices we make, and we are very structured.
Excuse me, I'm talking.
We are very structured.
I wasn't going to let you just say that and then keep her quiet. Matter of fact, you
anyway,
somebody's family. You can go slug him if you want to.
Can I really?
Don't talk about folks' mama. That's you get slugged real quick. Go ahead. I'm sorry, but you believe that the difference is you all have a different background, family background, and what else?
Correct, and that might contribute to her irresponsibility with money.
Okay.
She spends all her money at the bar and on weed, and she has a kid to support. And
how long did you all date?
2 months.
Okay.
Not even a month and a half.
And did he smoke weed and go to the bar with you?
Yes, he did, Your Honor, and he
That's a
paid
lie.
for me at the bar.
paid.
I have text messages right here saying, "Did you get the weed yet?"
Oh, right.
Want to see?
Did you fake those text messages?
No,
Sir,
actually,
talk
they
to
got them
me.
right off of my
All right.
phone.
You all talk to me now. Go ahead, sir. So she is irresponsible with money. That was your other comment. And you ultimately had to loan her money for what and when?
Right, that's correct. We ended up breaking up at the end of November.
When did you loan her the money? Before or after the breakup?
After the breakup. We ended up getting back together at the end of November when she found out she was pregnant.
When did you loan the money?
New Year's Eve.
Okay.
When we got back together, nothing was ever the same. She was regularly talking to her baby's daddy, who is a 2-time convicted felon. It was obvious what was going on there.
How much had you loaned her?
I loaned her $500.
Okay. Why don't you give me some background before we pursue the loan issue?
When me and him were dating, the father of my child was not anywhere around. He was living in Green Bay. Milwaukee kicked him out of the county. He was living in Green Bay on house arrest at his mother's house. If I wasn't pregnant with this child, I would have cheated in a heartbeat.
What month did you find that you were pregnant?
In November. I was on the rebound from an ex. I was still very much in love with him. I tried to move on as hard as I could. We all know how that goes. The first week we were together, we slept together. After 2 weeks, it went downhill. This man has told me to terminate our child. He called
That
me
is
white
a
trash.
lie.
I have the
You
text
are
message,
white
Your Honor.
trash.
Hey! Stop that, sir. Let me
This
see
is
that.
what I'm talking
I don't
about.
permit that in this courtroom.
Read the 4 text messages. All 4 of them have pretty blatant evidence of his behavior. He has told me to terminate his child. He has called me white trash and kicked me out of his car on New Year's Eve in the middle of the night.
Plaintiff Daniel McGinnis dated the defendant, and he claims soon after they started dating, he discovered that she spent all of her money on drugs and alcohol, despite the fact that she had a child to support.
One of the things, ma'am, that bothers me about this proof of him asking you to get an abortion is that when he refers to abortion, he says, you go get an abortion like you were taunting me with before, meaning that you were saying to him, I'm going to get an abortion. I'm going to get an abortion.
Right.
I'm going to get an abortion.
Exactly.
Taunting him with it. That's how I interpret this statement.
Okay.
But
Your
go
Honor,
ahead.
How it actually had went was I had asked him because he says, well, I'm not going to have a child with somebody that I'm not going to be with. I said, well, do you want me to go have an abortion? He said, no, that's not what I want you to do. I told him, I do not want to work it out. This is not going to work out between me and you. He has been rude. He has been inconsiderate. I mean, he has asked my family personal questions about things that are none of his business. On the first occasion that he met them, he had never met them before. He's asking my mom how much money she makes at her job. It just
Won't do sketchy things and nobody will be asking questions.
very personal. My mom is a nurse and she is very respected.
All right.
They
Now, speak
love
to
my
me.
mom.
Speak to me and he'll hear you. All right.
The hospital loves my mom. Then
Now this throwing you out of the car and all that, go over that again.
How that started was New Year's Eve, we had went and got my car fixed, and that was actually, he says, you know what? It was a Christmas present. He says, I'm just going to take $500 and I'm going to take you shopping. I said, you know what? Considering I'm pregnant with your child, why don't we put that money into repairing my car so I can be safe? He said, okay, deal. And it was my Christmas present. Then New Year's Eve morning, we went and got the car fixed. Then New Year's Eve night, we were going out to the bar. I was pregnant, so I was a designated driver. We stopped and picked up my friend, and we were going over to a bar. Well, he started asking her very personal questions about things she was doing, and he was judging her based on the things that she was doing. And I could see that she was uncomfortable with it. I said, Dan, you need to stop. He continued pushing it. I said, Dan, you need to stop. And he kept going. So I screamed at him. I was like, just shut up. Stop asking personal questions. It's the first time you met this lady. You don't even know her. So he shuts up. We don't fight at the bar or anything. We get in the car. We drop my friend at home. And then we continue to argue when it's just me and him. So we're arguing in the car back and forth, just bickering. Ridiculous. I pull up in front of my house. He's drunk and he says, you know what? Just get out of my car, cussing
And
at
you were
me.
in front of your house?
I was in front of my house. He called me white trash.
Your Honor,
It wasn't even about being kicked out of the car. It was
Honor.
about being called white trash. He called me white trash.
Now, you're suing for $5,000. I heard something about $500. Did she agree to pay you? And when was she to pay you?
we were going to be moving in together, and the day after New Year's Eve, her car was fixed, and I loaned her that money.
Any other monies?
Yeah, $4,500 for emotional distress.
How does she owe you for emotional distress?
She went behind my back and aborted my kid.
Your Honor, he
And
told me to.
then lied to all my friends and told all my friends to tell me it was a miscarriage.
He is lying, Your Honor.
Did you go behind his back or not? Did you
No,
inform
when
him?
on January 16th, when he said, yeah, go get the abortion like you've been taunted with, January 17th, I went and got the abortion.
I never agreed for her to get an abortion.
He told me to do it. I was so sick of the fighting. He's
Ma'am,
threatening my child.
Stop it. As you, out of your own mouth, said, when you mentioned and you all discussed it earlier, he said he did not want you to terminate the pregnancy. I believe that. I'm going to
If he
rely
hadn't
on
told
that.
me to do it, I wouldn't have done it. That's not even something
He
that I
told you earlier
believe
not
in.
to. He told you earlier
And then
not to.
changed his
Counterclaim for
mind.
$5,000 for car damages, harassment, and emotional distress. Prove your claim.
Well, after we had broken up, I got nothing but harassing text messages every single day. It was nonstop
have them there with
arguing.
you?
Yeah, I have a lot of them.
Let's see. What are they saying? What type of
just-
things that upset you?
Just, if I'll drop the lawsuit. I know it's stupid, but only if you get back together with me, and playing mind games with me. And then he's telling me, I'll call social services and I'm going to have your son taken away from you, even though I know you're a good mother.
Now, let me see that part.
I don't have that specific text.
That's a lie.
You just happen not to have the key evidence to prove that he harassed you. When a person says, I'm going to turn you in to Child Protective Services, yeah, that's harassment. But when a person says what you just said earlier, he was playing mind games, saying that he wanted to get with me, and then he really didn't want to get with me. Not emotional distress.
Plaintiff Daniel McGinnis dated the defendant, and he claims soon after they started dating, he discovered that she spent all of her money on drugs and alcohol, despite the fact that she had a child to support.
What else, ma'am, other than him talking about getting back together with you,
Just telling
or
me-
dropping this lawsuit?
Then he's telling me, I hope you like sitting in jail, because when you come to court, you don't have a license and your car is going to be impounded. And if you bring the baby daddy, he's like, if you bring him, I'm throwing him in jail too. And if anybody talks to me, I'm throwing them all in jail. It was just constantly, he's going to throw me in jail for everything.
That's not enough.
He's going to
Let's
take
get to
my
the car
son from
damages,
me.
ma'am. How does he owe you for car damages?
Okay, so the car in my trunk kind of didn't work to begin with. I told him, don't touch it. He says, my cell phone's in your trunk. I need it out. I said, I will get it. I was pregnant. I was hormonal. I was sick, throwing up every day. He witnessed this. I said, just wait. I will get your phone. So I fell asleep in my bed, and he took my keys behind my back, went and opened the trunk, then it wouldn't close, so it's tied shut. Then he took the car into this place up the street from my work, because he admitted it was his fault. He has the receipt for that, I'm sure, but the trunk still doesn't work.
Your Honor, I have a witness statement from our mutual friend saying that the trunk works perfectly fine.
The trunk does not work perfectly fine.
From
This
Heather.
is a mutual friend?
From
How did
Heather,
they
the one
determine?
that
Are they
set
a
us up.
mechanic? Or you know Heather Lysick?
Yeah, she told me that she did not write him a witness statement, and if one was brought into court, it was a lie and he did it himself.
Well, do you
right.
have that
She told
statement
me
where
that.
she said that?
I don't have a statement from her. I don't have a driver's license. I don't have the capability of driving 45 minutes to her. It was just...
You still drive anyway.
Actually, I have my license back. Thank you.
No, you don't. I got your criminal convictions
Honey,
right here.
I just got my tax returns.
You want to see, Your Honor? I have them as of yesterday.
I just got my tax returns back yesterday, and
wanna
my
see
tickets
your
are
Honor?
paid.
She's still suspended as
So
of
you
yesterday.
definitely didn't commit emotional distress telling her she's going
All
to
my
jail.
tickets are paid.
Look at the back page, Your Honor. She's still suspended as of yesterday morning.
All my tickets were paid yesterday.
How?
I just got my tax returns.
You
What am
were
I
here
supposed
yesterday.
to do?
That'd be great.
Right.
You were
I
here
had
yesterday,
all morning
ma'am.
yesterday.
Your claim is dismissed, ma'am, and yours is granted, sir. $500 for the plaintiff. Have a
Thank
good day.
you. You're a gold digging
That's it?
loser.
That's
and you
it?
use people for money, just like
Right.
said when
Because I have
you
two
got him
jobs.
hauled off to
I have
jail.
2 jobs.
Right,
I go
just
to
like when you
college,
got hauled
take care
off
of
to
my son
jail.
by myself.
And he's like, you're going to be the next one
Right.
taken for your money. Pretty good
Right.
game, Jessica.
Right.